Okay, everyone can see my screen. All right, so welcome again to the next edition of the CRM community call. My name is Charles. I'm standing in for um, our our old friend, and joining me is Angeliki.
I am.
Angeliki, yes, my lovely co-host, and then Dwayne, of course, the host with the most. How you doing, Dwayne?
Trying to come off mute, but I'm doing great.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Well, I go ahead and get started. For everyone who hasn't been here before, if it's your first time, we record these meetings. Feel free to be social. So if you want to have reactions, want to come off mute, want to have any questions, or if you want to interact on chat, anything you think you need, feel free. We want to make this a very interactive session, as we do all sessions. And then again, this is your call. So if you do have feedback, if you have requests, anything you want to do, anything you want to talk about, we are here for you. This isn't really just a Microsoft sort of thing. It's really something that is meant to be by the community, for the community. I'm just kind of here to hang out and be a shepherd of sorts. All right, Angeliki, I believe you have a couple of special guests today.
We do, and they're coming to us with an amazing session all the way from Cloud Tech Talent. So we're very excited and honored to have Bjorn and Pauline here today, our lovely Microsoft MVPs, bringing to life not just the Dynamics 365 customer insights. No, no, no. It's going to be special, and a roaring special for that matter, because we're going to see how Copilot Park, in a Jurassic kind of way, will come to life. So very excited to see them take over the call today because they have the honor of doing the whole call for us. So feel free to join in, ask questions, engage in the chat. We can't wait.
Yeah, I've got to say, normally we will have it half Microsoft and half community. But when I heard about how well received this was, particularly customer insights, which doesn't always get the amount of love that I think it deserves, and how well received it was, I was like, okay, you got to give these guys the full time. So I'm really, really excited to do it. And Pauline, I know Bjorn, looking forward to getting to know you. But I've heard nothing but amazing things about this. So with that said, take it away, guys.
Well, the pressure is high now, but
yeah,
thank
this
you
is
so
better
much.
Be good. No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
I see. Thank you so much for the invitation. We feel honored to have the whole time. And yeah, as you said, Björn will start sharing the slides, and then we can get started with our session. And I just quickly do a introduction before we then go into the more interesting topics. So a bit about Björn and I. We are currently sitting here together in beautiful Nuremberg, where we met today. So he's basically sitting there. And yeah, the session is straight outer Tallinn. So as you already mentioned it, but yes, about me, my name is Paulina. I'm MVP and partner for CRMK Germany, and all I do is customer insights. So it's the most favorite topic I like to talk about. And yeah, Björn.
Yeah, my name is Björn Sano. I'm a partner and MVP at CMK Deutschland as well. And you see my socials there, so hit me up on LinkedIn if you have any questions. Before I worked with customer insights and sales, I started with Navision, something completely not CRM or marketing automation part. It's the old ERP system from Denmark, and now better called as Business Central, if someone knows that in this round here.
Yeah, fun topic. Okay, can you unmute?
Oh.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, okay, so this is not a normal presentation, and we got a bit wild with the dinosaurs. So you will see them all through this session. We had a lot of fun though. But I guess you all heard of what happened in the Jurassic Copilot Park. So it wasn't a good thing what happened there. Crazy stuff happened. Yeah, it went wild in Copilot Park. But luckily, the dinosaurs are back and safe. People could come back to the session, and also the news has actually reported about that, that the dinosaurs are back, people are safe, but still the visitors don't really want to come back. So what we need to do is we need to help the marketing team to prepare, to make people aware that it is safe to come back to Copilot Park, that it is safe to visit Tallinn or Copilot Park with the dinosaurs, but they have a lot to do. So as you can see, they are working. It's so much work to get all these visitors back to the park. It's not easy. They do use customer insights, but it's still a lot of manual stuff that they have to do there. And that's basically also what a lot of marketing teams are currently facing. So they need to react basically. So how marketing was working in the past is that they send generic messages, they create big segments of people that they send emails to them, just to hope or cross their fingers that any of their messages actually is also well received or people engage with it. So generic messages is a big topic marketing teams have used in the past or came across in the past. On the other side, of course, then also low engagements, because if you receive a generic message that doesn't even say your name or says dear customer, who really wants to interact with that? Another thing is one size fit all campaigns. So marketing teams maybe did not have the time or the data or the ideas or the creativity or even the technical possibilities to create campaigns that are actually suitable for their target group. So what they did, they created one campaign, they have one segment, one email, shoot out, and then just hope for the best. And now, especially for Copilot Park, the marketing teams have so much work to do. They have to send the newsletters. They want to create events so visitors come. They want to also use multiple channels. They also need to take care of GDPR. We are still in the EU. And I mean, we are here as Germans talking about GDPR. We love that topic. So it is very, very important. So marketing teams can quickly be overwhelmed. They do a lot of manual steps. So it's quite a lot of things that they have had in the past. And now we want to try and help them with customer insights and of course also with AI.
Uh-oh.
You're muted, Bjorn.
Yeah. You're both muted. Yeah.
So, great. So, question again. So in Tallinn, we asked the same question, but I think in this round we have get a different answer. And I hope every one of you worked with customer insights before, or at least know what customer insights did or do in Dynamics 365 and how it can be implemented. If not, please say something and raise your hands. If you know everything, please thumb up. And Pauline, give me a thumb up that you have questions or not, so that we can continue with that, because I only have one screen. I only see the slides.
I saw some thumbs up already.
So then I guess everyone knows what customer insights is. And we continue. So that brings us to why the default Copilot customer insights get you eaten, and basically get you eaten alive when you use that use customer insights. So every one of us created segments before, journeys before, or mails templates. And we all know there's, when we create segments, for example, we have this nice Copilot or AI query helper that we can write down. We want to have all contacts that attended to the February call and living in Europe or living in the US. And also we can create journeys or mails, but this is not extendable. The only thing Microsoft gives out there is a complete default. So everything that has to be fitting to our business context. For example, for dinosaurs in a nice park in Tallinn, or fitting to your brand or the brand of your customers from sports, wherever you go, Microsoft will give you very similar answers, and you don't want that. For journeys and mails for a sport brand, you want something different than for an NGO. So this is something you cannot teach Copilot yet. So that would be not that nice when we talking about Copilot. Everyone can start with that, but everyone has the same mail, and basically every newsletter going to be look the same. And this is the current present we have, and the start point where we set it up our session. So when we go for the future, for example, Copilot needs to know who is the visitor. So what we want to do, for example, in a Copilot Park. So in our scenario, there's a ticket, the ticket sale, and we want to talk with the customer on the same side when he says, yes, I want to get the newest information about Copilot Park. We want to create the opt-in for that customer in the system without searching for the customer, then looking for the right compliance profile and setting up that this person gets a newsletter in the future, or even worst case, okay, thank you, please go over there to the self service and do it on a preference center. What we can do on a newsletter, sure, but not when we are in touch with the customer at that moment. Is it the call center? Is it the marketing person or the salesperson? So we want to get there some help. So what we want to do, for example, is we want to write down Pauline is at our ticket shop, and I need to create the contents for her. So the Copilot knows, okay, who is that? The Copilot knows who is texting, so it knows, okay, I have to create for that compliance profile an opt-in for the newsletter, for example. And because we are not here just to present some slides, we also want to share some live demos. So let's see how good this works when I switching out and switching over. Oh yeah, great. I do that later. So we are here in my Beyond Engagement app. Why it's not customer insights? Well, you were gonna see that in a bit in our presentation why it's not the customer insights app directly. So now I say, Pauline wants to give consent, and hopefully, because it's AI, sometimes, yeah, I have to give the contact point. So I say, Pauline, call at info.com, and we send that out. The system now checking for that, and hopefully it's going pretty fast. And if not, yeah. So manage further, please let me know. This is interesting because we switching directly over to my agent. I give him some different introduction what it should do, and we can look at it what it normally should do. So we can use the same question again. I quickly copy paste it, and then I show you my agent what it should do. So when we go in the overview, I gave some basically introduction what the agent should do, so that we're talking about that the agent knows, okay, we want to collect consents and the correct mail address, and then checking to create a new record in the correct table. And we're also talking about the privacy in the introduction, always communicate in English, professional and friendly. And if request is fulfilled, explain the limitations. If it's not fulfilled, and please provide always with dinosaurs references. It didn't do that in the chat, so I do that here again. And I say here, Pauline, info.de. And now we see, okay, if I wanted to send a follow-up to our new Dino fan, yes or no. So we can say basically what we do here is we say in the question we can brand out, and I didn't put in anything here, but what we normally do is then say this person goes into different segments and then automatically into customer journeys. And so I can say, okay, send a welcome gift. I sent that out, and I got an error. That's nice. I love live presentations. And then the person goes into that step, and we got a nice reference back to tell, hey, this person run into the gift or into the welcome message now, and get further. So basically, the person that has nothing to do with marketing, get basic introductions, can just say, I want to create that, and then get asked, is it maybe someone he is really into it, so we send a gift because maybe it's also directly the birthday of that person, or it get the normal welcome journey, and it does not need to know anything about custom insights and marketing, because this is something the market team can do, and everything else handles the ticket shop persons or the call center people. So from current slide. And we have another challenge, right, Pauline?
Yes, we do. So the other thing that the Copilot Park marketing team wants to do is to create events, and they also want to invite their possible visitors to this event. And I personally like event management quite a lot in customer insights, because it is very big module within customer insights. I think it makes it also a bit unique compared to other marketing automations. So using event management in customer insights should be a must for every marketing team, and luckily Copilot team is doing that. But they have also a fun sales department, and for everyone who knows how good sales and marketing work together or not, also here in Copilot Park it's the same. So marketing prepare something nice, they create events, they want to invite people, they have beautiful journeys, they have a great plan for the event, but sales doesn't really care, or they don't know, or they don't communicate with each other. So our goal with the next agent is to bring marketing and sales more closer together. So in the end, the goal is that sales can easily, very, very easily invite their contacts also to the event without needing to go to the Customer Insights app, without having to add contacts to a marketing list or to a segment, because sales hates clicking, and we want to make it as easy as possible for them. All right, so also here I want to give a short demo. What we will see now first is that marketing will invite or create the event, and then sales can actually invite the contacts with the help of an agent. So this time I will take over my screen and share. I hope it's visible. Yes, right? Otherwise you would say something. Perfect. All right, so I'm here in the Sales Hub, and I'm now a salesperson who wants to invite someone. So I want to invite Björn to the event because maybe I was in a call with him, or I met him, or he's just my contact person. So I want to invite him, and I can do this by being on this contact and clicking on the Copilot, and then I say that I want to invite him. So maybe let's refresh this page, because we don't want to start where it already started. So let me quickly refresh. And I hope my agent is a bit nicer to me than yours this time. All right, so I say invite to event, and the agent then gives me an information of possible events that I could invite my contact to. In this case, I of course want to invite Björn to the dino dinner. So I click on one of the options that the agent gives me, and then it gives me just the information back, hey, your contact is added to the event invitation list. How does this look in the background? And I can show you first what I did in Copilot. So while Björn has created his own agent, Björn's engagement agent, I have used the Copilot in Dynamics 365 Sales, so the out-of-the-box Copilot, but I enhanced it with a new topic. So I can click here on the topics, and I have created an invite contacts new topic that always triggers when someone writes invite to event or create event invitation or whatever, something with event and invitation, and then this trigger actually kicks off. I know that typing might not be the most nice thing that people like to do because maybe they have some spelling mistakes then, and then the Copilot is confused. So it would be, of course, better to just give them a quick click on a predefined prompt or so. But in my case, to make it easy, it's just writing invite to event, like I previously showed you. In the topic, I can then define what should happen next. So what I did here is I first set a variable, and I will not be too technical about this now, but basically the variable helps me to have two possibilities of how to actually invite the contacts. What I showed you previously was I was on the contact record, and then I opened the Copilot and said I want to invite this contact, and I did not have to actually specify which contact it is because from this variable, the system already knew that I was on Björn's contact, so it invited also Björn. But of course, maybe I want to invite multiple people. I don't want to go to each and every contact, open the record, go to Copilot, enter invite event. That's again too much work for the salespeople. We don't want that. So the other option is that instead of calling it from a form, I can also call it from the record picker. So I could just pick a few contacts from the view and then say invite them to the event. And that's what I can do here. If the salesperson tries to invite a lead, for example, it will give a message that says just invite contacts here, or it only works for contacts. The next thing is the action. That is actually a flow in the background. It will give me a list of events that are in the future and active or possible to be invited to. If you have an event in the past, you don't want the salespeople to invite people there by accident, or if the event is in the future, but maybe it's not live yet because still some preparations need to be done, then you also don't want to invite people. So this flow actually only lists the events that are in the future and that are already live. So that's why it showed us 4 events in the demo. It gives me this list of events back and displays them as options in a list, which we just saw. And then it again creates a Power Automate here that creates an invite list membership. This invite list membership is a unique or a custom table. This is nothing from out of the box that we have in Customer Insights. So if you have worked with Customer Insights before, you know that we can create event registrations when someone has registered already, or event check-ins when someone has actually attended an event, but there is no out-of-the-box process for actual invitation. So this is a custom table. I think that's important to know, because every time the sales says, I want to invite my contact, then this flow actually creates this new record that connects the contact with the event. And last but not least, when this was successful, we just display the successful message that, hey, it worked. So this record that I just mentioned about the invite list membership is very important, because this creation of this record then triggers my journey, which I can also show you here. It's a super simple journey in Customer Insights now. Starting with when a new record for invitation is created, and it then sends out actually the invitation email. So this was a Dataverse trigger, very easy to create. There's no Power Automate or anything in the background to create this kind of trigger, just a simple trigger. And then we have here the email, which you can design as you like, which you can also add personalization to images, whatever you like. And of course, don't forget the registration button, because the people then also actually need to register to the event. And that's all the magic that happens then in the background. So we have a nice flow from Sales Hub with Copilot and the topics, plus then, of course, the invitation emails and the event management process that happens in Customer Insights journeys. All right, we have a third use case, which we want to show you on the slides again. There's no live demo for that yet, but maybe we will do that, and then we can actually also display a show the next time, maybe. Let's see. Yeah. But we still want to show it to you, or ideas that we have in mind is, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. This is this is the basic overview of how this flows and agents that I have shown you previously is built. You have Copilot Studio on the left side. We have how sales works with it, with the custom topic, with the Copilot in Dynamics 365 for sales. We have the data that we get from Dataverse via a Power Automate, and then on the right side we have customer insights journeys that actually sends the email. So basically a very, very short overview of what you have just seen in the system directly. But now to the third use case, and that's the idea that we have persona agents. We talked about sending messages, especially when we have the consent from people, and marketing, of course, is very good in writing great content that we can send out, and we hope for the best that it actually lands with people, but we don't know actually how good it lands with those people. So Björn and I are working a lot with B2B customers, and we have different kind of target audiences that we want to reach with our marketing materials. We might have a marketing manager that we want to reach. We might have people who work in procurement. We might have product owners or IT managers, and all of them have different ways of what they need to hear, what they want to hear, or what they are interested in. So I cannot really send one email to all of these target groups because they have different goals, they have different KPIs. So I also need to use the right tone, the right value, and also the right CTA. With the persona agent, we could actually make this also work easier because we can let the agent help us explain if the message that we want to send to the personas actually resonates with them. So on the next slide, you can see a basic process of how this could look like when you want to test it yourself or when you want to build it yourself. And that's by creating one agent per persona. So basically you define your personas, and if you work with marketing departments, then they often already have their defined personas because they know their target audience, and this is nothing they just think about or they just make it up, but it's actually a kind of big research if you want to have a good persona. So you know the segment, you know the key attributes, you know the goals, the pains, their objections of what they have, and then you have your personas. And for each of these personas, you can then build one agent and basically add to the prompt of you are persona skeptical IT lead who always wants to know about the security and about performance and how maintainable the system is and that the licenses don't cost a lot, and all this information that you know about this persona, you can then add to the prompt. Then you define your marketing content and send it to the agent. The agent gives you actionable feedback, basically says, yay, I'm the IT lead, and when I read this message, there's so many marketing words in it. I don't really understand what is the value for me. So then you know, oh, maybe I should refine my marketing text again, either if it's manual or automatical. And then you have basically a agent that helps you with your content loop and sees if the message that you send to your target audience actually resonates with them. As I said, we haven't built this yet, but we are currently testing it out and trying it out. But still, we thought it's valuable to share with you because there are so many ideas of how you can create and use agents quite easily, especially for marketing, even though there's not a lot in customer insights out of the box yet. But I think on next slide.
Yeah. So that are our ideas, and because we're talking about customer insight, and it would be a shame if we wouldn't do any call to action. We already got some nice ideas when we were in Tallinn last week, and got some ideas from others that are also thinking about how they can use AI with customer insights. And we are curious what you think what could be a good idea to use AI for customer insights. directly in customer insights, or like our third use case we showed you, something that is related to marketing, but not directly inside of customer insights. Okay, good. Now just we wait for participants. I hope the QR code works. I hope. At least Pauline says yes, so let's give it a second to see what your ideas are. What you got, for example, what we saw in Tallinn, and we discussed about Tallinn, of course, how we can integrate more dinosaurs in Dynamics at all. Could be a funny thing when we're working for B2C, but less for B2B sometimes. But also another agent idea that came up was to help creating events in customer insights, bringing up ideas for what could the name of the event, also checking what are concurrent events or other events that are also maybe in this area or at this time frame, so that we are not stealing each other or cannibalize our events with other great events that are around there. So something what you normally have to do very basically, and you just can ask an agent to check around what are other events on that day in our area. We just basically found out that the slide does not update, but I got the list on my phone here, and I saw some cool ideas about for AI for better segments. Yeah, I'm completely in. Also, build a lead model. So basically, whoever wrote that, I like your idea. I like the idea to have an agent that helps me to create lead models, and also basically use the existing lead scoring model to combine that to get better leads and find out how to nurture my leads and send them. There we are back from our second use case, how we can work better together with sales on that. And another idea I see here as well is web intelligence enhance. Yeah, I'm completely with you. Could be very interesting to build that, and also to integrate that with customer insights. So I like your ideas. I hope when we share the slides afterwards that the results are in. So we basically will create screenshots so that everyone see all ideas. Very sorry about that. That Mentimeter is not working that as we expected in our slides. Good. Now it's working. Great. Yeah. Also customer score. Yeah, we customer score. Interesting idea as well, to not just scoring your lead, also scoring your customers. Maybe something that is not need to do directly in customer insights, and maybe there is already a model from Microsoft in preview when we are switching from the bright side of journeys to the dark sides of data. Could there be a customer lifetime value model from Microsoft directly to exactly do that? So in some cases, Microsoft already provides some default solution for that, so that we not always have to create everything individually. Good, but I think these are nice ideas. And if we have time in the end, we can discuss a little bit more about that. But I would continue to the next slide and would hand over to you again, Polly.
Yes, so the question, of course, is how can we get started, especially when we have customer insights already and we want to enhance it with our own AI or our own copilots. And this is a standard slide that we have from the Microsoft slide deck, but I think it's very valuable and very also applicable to marketing and to marketing use cases. Because if you want to start with it, then our general recommendation is to start with the easy parts, with generative AI, with things that you also have maybe included in M365, like the Copilot chat, because there we could use it for text creation, for image creation. And of course, it's then still a manual process with combining it with customer insights journeys. But I think if we stay a bit more patient, there might also be new things coming, hopefully in the future. Still, starting with the foundations is super important. So we usually recommend to pick, for example, one North Star outcome. So what do you actually want to achieve with AI? Or do we just want to use AI because it's AI and everyone does it? But by picking one North Star outcome, like, for example, a higher conversion or faster resolutions or fewer no-shows or better retention, for example, you actually have a goal that you can work to. And also another thing that's super important for the start is fix the data. Don't get just started with AI when you don't have a very good data quality. It sounds so obvious, and I think in every AI talk, everyone says that if you have good data, then your AI is better. And so I also say this now. So there you go. But for marketing especially, it would be super important to have the good consent, that you can also use the data, that you have key events like signups, like browsing, like email clicks, email open rates, that you can also use for your AI models or also for your AI agents. As for all marketing or all AI projects, it also makes sense to define guardrails. So what AI actually can do. Where do you need approval rules? Do you want to let AI create the text and then just send it out? Or do you want to create the famous human in the loop? For marketing specifically, the tone of voice is super important. You don't want to have the M dash in your emails. You don't want to have the in this fast-paced digital world, blah blah stuff where everyone knows that this is written by AI. So it's very important in marketing that the messages you send are in the tone of voice of your actual brand. And for the guardrails, of course, also sensitive data policy is very well advised. And also set success metrics. So if you have picked your North Star and an outcome, then also set the metrics in the end. So what would you actually want to achieve to see if the AI has actually helped you? And then you can, of course, move on to bigger AI use cases, to extend it, to build stuff, to use Copilot Studio more, to use Microsoft Foundry. And I think with that, there are a lot of possibilities of what other use cases you can build than the ones we have showed you today. We do have a few learnings that Björn will show you, and then we will wrap it up.
Yeah. So, what actually works and what doesn't? So, what we figured out when we started with everything, and we thought, okay, they are pre-built agents from Microsoft. They are already in the license. So basically, we want to use them because why should I build everything up directly from the scratch? So let's start with that. And that was a pretty interesting afternoon for Pauline and me, because we got the information, they are there. Please try that out, use them. And then we used the existing ones and said, okay, let's create new topics, and then we opened the Customer Insights app. Yeah, nothing works. We always got this nice binge web results about our prompts we fill in. And the same was also, okay, let's create a custom model-driven app. Everyone is through the same problem. So that was the point where we said, okay, let's create our own agent. Yeah, our own agent also not working in Customer Insights. So at least they working in a custom model-driven app. So that was the reason why I had this Björn engagement app we used, and not used the Customer Insights one. But everything we do for the sales team and in the Sales Hub, that works perfectly with the pre-built one. So please, then when you know you're working with the Sales Hub or an existing model-driven app from Microsoft where the pre-built is in, please use the pre-built and just extend that. Please don't always start on this on a blank canvas. Another learning was because we had so many ideas, focus on one with one KPI, and then figure out that this one works, and not, oh yeah, we have 10 ideas and working on 10 different topics at the same time. And of course, everything we learned with AI everywhere, define for the agents context goals and giving them examples so that they know what to do. And Pauline, you mentioned that earlier. We had the idea, let the AI do everything, and then we figured out maybe it's sometimes not that bad. Let a human take a look at that, what AI does, and not some AI brain what stuff going out as commercial or transactional mails from customer insights. So keep the human in the loop and check on a regular basis. Is that what we are doing really helpful, or is it just because everyone is talking about AI? So let's use AI everywhere where it's possible, and of course share your stuff with it. So for example, we shared every learning we had with our Swedish colleagues and they with us, but that we figured out, hey, when you use this line of prompt in your prompt, then the tone gonna change to this or that, and if you use this word, it messing up every message you get back. So that are some learnings we had. Of course, some of the basic learnings that you have to say, please do not use specific signs, because then everyone knows this is an AI text. So the good thing is, I don't know, I think I don't share with audio. So we got the visitors back, with that back to our Copilot Park in Tallinn, and so also the winter is over there, at least on our slides. And we can say Copilot in Customer Insights has a lot of potential, but we are not there yet. We are one of the products that started, one of the earliest with AI for creating segments, for example. But at the moment, the product needs some time. So stay patient, that everything we're thinking about, what could be helpful, is maybe possible in the future there. So stay patient, and also start low. Don't always start with AI Foundry or Microsoft Foundry directly. Start with some simple stuff like Copilot Studio, and then reach for the stars and beyond, and go with Foundry somewhere where you can do completely crazy stuff when you have the basics. Good. And because Pauline and I are members of the board for Color Cloud, we have also some small surprise in the end for everyone who stayed to the end or watched the VOD till the end. Color Cloud is happening in mid of April, and with the code COLOR365 you get a 10% discount on all tickets we have. Yeah, check out the website. It's our third edition. It's Hamburg. It's going to rain, because it's always raining in Hamburg, but nevertheless, it's a nice conference. Take a look on our website, and yeah, hopefully see you in person in Hamburg. And that would be it. We thank you for your patience to watch our visit in Copilot Park. And I would say, do you want to say something at the end, Pauline?
No, I'm good.
Then are we giving the word back to Angelici?
Excellent. Thank you so much, guys. Hey, before you go, though, one question. So I know one of the things that we turned on recently in Copilot Studio was Human in the Loop. Have you experimented with that yet for doing some of the intervention stuff that you've been talking about in terms of getting like marketers directly involved in anything? Have you turned it on and played with it or integrated into anything you were doing it?
Yeah, I have tested it, especially for approvals, also again in event management use cases. For the use case was waitlist. So basically the idea is that people come on the waitlist and you want to decide manually who should be able to join your VIP event. You could let AI decide this, but if the AI is unsure, you want to send the human in the loop here as well to check it. We tested that and it works quite well and very easy to implement as well. So highly recommend to test that out.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Thank you so much, guys. Angelique, what you think?
I think this is one of the most creative presentations I've ever watched, and it was awesome to see also the interactive videos. So, Bjorn, Pauline, how did you generate them? I'm tempted to say something like Sora, but I'd love to hear how you did it.
Copilot. Of course. That was Copilot, actually. Yeah.
Oh wow, there's a
That's the
commercial there
correct
somewhere.
answer.
That was amazing, Pauline. I loved it.
Have you
Fantastic.
not seen the flying people on the street? So well done.
I love it. Nice.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, guys. Really, really appreciate it. And now you know why we decided to give them the full time today. So thanks so much. All right. So a couple of bits of housekeeping here. So if you want to engage with us, we have a little link tree here that you can follow, and it'll give you all the latest and greatest stuff about the Dynamics 365 community. Angelique, what do we have coming up for community-led events?
Yes, I mean, obviously, we heard about Color Cloud. So definitely have a look at that. It's in March, but not long from now. And it's an amazing event. It's in a beautiful place in Germany as well. So if you manage to find yourself there, you get a nice discount, as Pauline and Bjorn told us. But closer to February, we have all sorts of Global Power Platform events. It's a mix of in-person and online. They're free events. And if you go to that website, you'll see that over 70 locations are presented. I think from memory, I think there was like 74 all over the world, which is amazing. Between February 20 and 21st, all sorts of topics in the Power Platform and AI space. So, tune in for that, or if you happen to be in person. And then we have a double whammy for March. So towards the end of March, there's two collaborating events. Actually, we have DynamicsCon Regional, and it's happening in Vancouver this time. It's a free in-person event on March 20th. And if you also happen to be there, then there is another event the day after / same day, which is the Canadian Power Platform Summit, also in Vancouver. That's going to be with some fantastic speakers as well. Beautiful city, Vancouver. So also, if you happen to be there, then something to keep an eye out for. And once again, thank you so much, Pauline and Bjorn, for coming and taking over the session today, and also giving us a nice little gift for Color Cloud.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, so before we adjourn,
that you're having us. That was really nice. Even if Lace is writing some interesting messages in the chat.
To be expected, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know that you deserve them, Bjorn, right? You know that you deserve them.
Okay, so one thing I want to talk about before we adjourn, we have a exciting announcement, and I think what Pauline and Bjorn were talking about is a really nice segue into it. You might have seen that increasingly Dynamics is tied to agents and things related to agents. So, obviously we've always been talking about CRM and all the capabilities in CRM, but increasingly it's part of a wider range of capabilities that we have, including Copilot Studio. So I want to take this opportunity to announce that we are launching a new community. Previously, we had CRM, we had ERP, we had the Power Platform, but now we're going to launch one specifically around agents. So what's different between agents and Power Platform? Well, the big difference is agents kind of encompasses everything at this point. So there's no one neat place to put it. So I spent a little bit of time talking with the team, and I said, so we have stuff for agents, like there are agents in CRM, the agents in ERP, there are like agents with Copilot Studio, obviously, there's agents in M365, like where do we put this stuff? And I think what ended up making the most sense was to just have its own thing. And so I'd like to cordially invite all of you to join the agents community. If there's any part of what you do, and the answer is almost certainly yes, that's going to start touching agents or start touching things that are agent related outside of the core CRM, you don't want to miss this. So the first meeting that we have that we're planning to launch is March 4th. Mark your calendars. I believe, Dwayne, I think we're looking at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Pacific. 10 a.m. Pacific.
5 p.m. UTC.
Yes. Mark calendars. We're going to start driving awareness to it through social media, but I wanted all of you to know about it at least. This way you'll be able to do some of the things that you saw, like Pauline and Bjorn do, because I think increasingly that's a really big part of what we all do as CRM people. So keep that in mind. It's also near and dear to my heart as the PM for Copilot Studio. So you're going to be seeing and hearing a lot about that as well, along with other things as it relates to agents. So again, mark your calendars. We hope to see you there. All right. In the remaining time that we have, I wanted to also use an opportunity to just put a general call out to anyone who would like to present on anything. You saw, Bjorn and Pauline are a tough act to follow, but we would love for any of you, all of you, to take a swing at this. Is really a great opportunity to talk about some of the things that you love, some of the little cool, interesting things that you might have run into, like little troubleshooting things that you might have figured out, your favorite hack, whatever it might be. We'd love to hear from you. So if you would like to take 20 minutes to present, reach out to Angeliki, reach out to Dwayne, reach out to me, any of us, all of us, and let us know. And we'd be happy to get you on a schedule. What do you think about that, Angeliki?
I think this is a fantastic idea. So please do reach out. And also, if I may, if you have an idea of what we would like our Microsoft presenters to have a presentation about, please do reach out about that. Like, for example, in the past, we had some great recommendations such as field service. And I think last month's call was very successful because everyone enjoyed some demos and the roadmap. So please do give a suggestion for that as well, because we are happily reaching out to our Microsoft PMs too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And some good news on that front. We'll be working with some Microsoft CRM leadership to start getting more Microsoft presenters in to talk about things that are coming that we can, obviously publicly reveal. Public previews that are coming out as well, newly released features, how to use them, how to integrate them, best practices around them, things that I think would make your job as consultants, administrators, whatever it is you do, that much better. So we really want to start having more of that two-way conversation. It also gives you an opportunity to ask them questions as well. You're definitely going to see more of that on the agent community call, but I expect to see more of that going forward for the CRM call as well. So some exciting changes afoot, and I'm happy to be along with the journey with all of you. All right, any last questions or comments? All right. Well, if no one else has anything, I hereby call this meeting adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Till next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks.